One of the questions that I get asked sometimes is whether or not our girls have meltdowns. And I think that there's a really good reason that I have been asked that question repeatedly, and that is what I want to talk about today. The answer to the question, quite simply, is yes. At least yes for Maggie. For Tessie, I guess the answer would actually still be no. Tessie only recently started even voicing disagreement over things very, very recently. The way that Tessie's developmental delays manifested originally was that she basically didn't really respond outwardly to very many things, and that included things that she didn't like. She wouldn't let us know if she was uncomfortable, she wouldn't let us know if she was hungry, she wouldn't let us know really anything. She was just a very quiet, easy baby, a very quiet, easy toddler. That's just sort of how she's been. And in the last few months, that has begun to change, and that's been a really good thing. When Tessie lets us know that she isn't happy about something, we're pretty happy. Even when that involves biting, because she's actually letting us know that she doesn't like something. And that's a pretty big deal for us. She hasn't really gotten full-blown meltdown ever, which I think in some ways is surprising because it was pretty clear from the beginning that Tessie does have some sensory issues, some pretty big sensory issues, and that they were apparent pretty much from the start with her. So I wouldn't be surprised if meltdowns are in her future, since usually meltdowns are triggered by sensory stimuli. But we haven't had to deal with meltdowns with Tessie, and for a very long time I felt like we were just sort of waiting for the other shoe to fall and for the meltdowns to start. Because by now they had definitely started with Maggie. Yes, meltdowns are a thing that we have dealt with many times. My nose is a little bit crookeder than it was originally from one of them. That was one in church, and it wasn't because she was being violent or aggressive. It was because I was in the path of a flailing foot that was just freaking out. I know that on YouTube, meltdowns can be really viral. I know that they can get a lot of views. I know that for autism channels, they can be your #1 videos. But I also know, just as a parent, that you're never going to see a meltdown video on my channel. When things here start heading in the direction of a meltdown, I put my camera down. When it looks like there's going to be a meltdown, I edit out the times that led up to it. Like if a meltdown's coming on suddenly and I catch the beginning of it before I put my camera down, I'm editing that out and I'm not using that footage. And it's not because I don't want to show you real life here. It's not because I want it to all be sugary sweet and easy, obviously, because I do share a lot of the struggles that I have. I feel like in a lot of ways I've been really blunt with you about what it's like for all of us, as much as I can be from my perspective. But whenever I am editing, I ask myself if this is something that I would want of myself on the internet. And that is how I make decisions. That's why I'll never talk about potty training. That's why I don't talk about diapers. And I want to say, Maggie is not in diapers. People constantly ask me that question, usually in ways that make me pretty uncomfortable. Not always. Some people ask that question out of curiosity, and that's fine. But in the disability community, if you are a disability channel, you are going to get some creeps asking some pretty creepy questions about diapers. People that will come to your channel and only ask questions about diapers. So if you have a channel and you're out there and you aren't aware of that, that is definitely something to be aware of. So I am cautious about the private things that I share. Like when our girls hit puberty, I am not going to be sharing that publicly on the vlog. They have their privacy. I'm not going to be sharing those super private moments, but I'm also not going to be sharing their worst moments. The moments that, like meltdowns, that I know they aren't going to want out there. Even if they can never tell me that they don't want them out there. Even if Maggie is never more verbal than she is right now. Even if she never goes out into the world. Even if we are always her guardians for the rest of our lives. That really doesn't change anything in terms of her having privacy, and I'm not going to put her most private moments out there on the internet. And that is why, if you look at our channel, there are a lot of happy moments and a lot of fun moments and activities that I put out there. I talk about the difficulties that we face to help you, to bring awareness, to bring acceptance, but there is so much footage of meltdowns out there. There's no point in adding to that cache of footage. It's not going to show you anything that you can't find with a simple search on 100 other channels. I think that one of the things that it's really important to remember is that even if people aren't verbal, they're still people and still deserving of the respect not to have their most intimate and private moments splashed across the internet, especially if they aren't the ones who are making the choice to do it. And I don't think it really matters whether or not they're neurotypical or neurodiverse. I started talking about autism and sharing our lives on this vlog because I feel like there's a lot of autism awareness out there that makes autism seem like this really, really scary thing. And I think that when you actually get to know people on the spectrum, even when it's through vlogs, I think that anytime you start to see things from the perspective of other people on an ongoing basis, it helps you to see other people as more human. I think that showing parts of our life can aid in acceptance, even without showing those meltdowns. Not because I'm trying to smooth anything over or make anything seem like it's coming through rose-colored glasses, because that's not my intention, but because not every story is my story to tell. And someday I hope that both of my girls are going to have a voice to tell their own stories, to bring more autism awareness, but especially autism acceptance into this world. I don't think that hiding away or acting like we're ashamed of autism has ever helped anyone. I don't think that that's creating a better world for our girls to grow up in. And for me, that is the most important thing. I want them to live in a world where they can be who they are and where they can be accepted for who they are, where it's not treated as a plague or the worst thing that can happen to a person, the worst thing that you can be. And it is really just a set of principles that I've come up with for myself after a great deal of thought, after many years of blogging and thinking about these things and talking with my family. Now that Sadie is older, I talk with her and ask her about just about anything that I put on here. For example, I wasn't planning on vlogging her surgery, and then I didn't even bring my camera to her surgery, and then we got there and she was horrified that I didn't have my camera and basically said, of course you need to vlog it, aren't you? Where's your camera? Get your phone out. You have a phone. You can vlog on your phone, which was really surprising to me because she hadn't even told her friends at school that she was having surgery. And so I was really surprised that she wanted me to vlog it, which was why I hadn't brought my camera. I hadn't even asked her if she wanted me to vlog it because I just assumed that the answer was no. Or some days, one of the reasons that you sometimes see more of Tessie here when we're doing work is because, number one, because I am going through more parent trainings more regularly with Tessie. But the other reason is because, for example, the other day I was going to do some filming with Maggie, and Maggie looked at me and said, no pictures, so we didn't film anything that day with her. And so that was it. And so I did something else for the channel that day. This is a family endeavor, and as much as possible, I want everyone to be able to have a voice and to be able to be as involved or as not involved as they want to be. So far, the kids have been pretty excited about it. Some of them ridiculously so. That is it for today. If you like this video, I would love it if you'd hit thumbs up. And if you're interested in all things autism, I'd love it if you'd hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.